You keep telling yourself that you are the one who failed. You look around the table and tell yourself again and again that you will never catch up to them. The rice bowls are set in front of each of you, steam rising in the middle of the table, dishes of food between your hands, and still you feel as if you do not belong in your own chair. Your parents speak with brighter voices when they ask your siblings about their work, their studies, their plans, while your chopsticks move slowly and your eyes stay on your plate. I am here at this same table, closer to you than the back of your chair, listening to every word and to every silent sentence you speak inside. You hear again the sharp line, "Look at your brother," or "Look at your sister," spoken over bowls of soup and shared dishes. You notice how your mother's face softens when she praises their achievements, how your father's eyes shine when he talks about their salaries or degrees. Then you feel the air change when the conversation turns toward you, the questions growing shorter, the tone cooler, the silence heavier when you do not have an answer that impresses them, the clink of chopsticks against porcelain, the scrape of a chair on the floor, the smell of cooked food. All of it wraps around you while shame burns in your chest. My child, I see the way your shoulders curl forward, the way your hands stiffen around the bowl as you try to become smaller in that moment. You tell yourself, I am the one who disappointed them. You tell yourself, if I had studied more, if I had tried harder, I would be the one they talk about with pride. Your siblings describe their office, their projects, their travels, and you sit there remembering the long days at your modest job, the times you stood on your feet for hours, the times you came home too tired to speak. You feel the cool tile under your feet, the warm light above the table, and still you feel as if a cold shadow rests just on your side of the room. I sit with you in that shadow. I do not move my chair away from you. You hear sentences like, "Why can't you be more like them?" Or "You only make us worry." You look down at the simple food in your bowl while your heart sinks heavier with each comparison. You pretend to be busy passing dishes, pouring tea, reaching for napkins, so that no one will notice the gloss of tears in your eyes. The room feels full and loud, yet inside you feel terribly alone. I have been at every one of these dinners, closer than the table edge beneath your resting wrist, watching you with a gaze that does not harden when it turns toward you. You think, maybe if I say less, they will stop comparing me. So you eat quietly, you answer briefly, you nod and smile where you can, trying not to stir more comments. Your spoon trembles slightly when you lift it. Your mouth tastes more of fear than of food. The family talk flows over you like a river where you cannot swim, while you sit on your chair, trying to plant your feet on the ground so you will not be swept away inside. I see the way you endure the whole meal, waiting for the moment when you can stand up, clear the dishes, and escape to the small room where your heart can finally breathe. Later, when the table is cleared and the house grows quieter, you retreat to that small space you call your own. You sit at a small desk, phone in your hand, scrolling through photos and posts that seem to prove again that you are behind everyone else. Your back aches from the day, your shoulders are tight from holding yourself together at the table, and your chest still carries the echo of their words. The screen glows white blue on your face, while the rest of the room lies in shadow. I am here in this room with you, as surely as I was at the table. Closer than the light from the screen, near to your tired eyes and trembling thoughts. You fear that you are a disappointment not only to your parents, but to me. You fear that when they call you a failure, heaven silently agrees. So you avoid speaking to me about this. You think I must be standing with them, nodding as they list your weaknesses. Inside, you whisper, "You must also see me as the failed child, the one who threw away chances. Beloved one, I do not sit on that side of the table. I am not another voice in the room comparing your life to theirs. I am the one who knows every step that brought you here, every burden you carried that nobody saw, every quiet act of kindness you offered that no one praised. Feel how tired your body is after another day of trying to prove that you matter. Your feet remember the ground you stood on, the bus or motorbike rides, the crowded workplace, the noise you endured while you worked. Your hands remember the weight of tools, bags, documents, or trays that you lifted and carried. Now they hold only this phone, and still the exhaustion hums in your muscles. I draw near to that exhaustion, not to push you harder, but to let you know that I see it, that I honor it, that I do not despise the work you do. You look back over years of family dinners, of holidays and gatherings where your siblings shone and you tried to fade into the background. There were evenings when you stood in doorways while relatives asked about everyone else first. Often you nodded along as they praised your siblings' careers, then answered short questions about your own life with a tight smile. Many times you laughed politely at jokes that cut too close to your heart. In every one of those scenes, I stood beside you, not as a distant observer, but as one whose hand could have rested gently on your back if you had been able to feel it. Now hear me say this clearly in this quiet room after the noise of the meal. I do not rank you against your siblings. I do not hold your life in one hand and theirs in the other, as if I must choose one and cast off the rest. I have not written failure over your name. Feel your breath moving in and out, the rise and fall of your chest, the way the air in this room touches your skin. Each breath is a quiet sign that I still choose to keep you here, that your story is not finished, that your value is not measured in degrees, titles, or income. You may say to me, "But I really did make mistakes. I really did waste time. I really did stop trying when it was hard." I do not erase the reality of your choices or the pain of their consequences. But I also see how alone you felt, how often you lacked guidance, how much pressure rested on you while you tried to find your path. I see the days you went to work anyway, even when shame was heavy. I see the evenings you helped wash dishes, clean floors, or care for others after everyone else had finished eating and gone to rest. I see the quiet loyalty and the hidden love that have never been announced across the dinner table. Let your hands rest for a moment. Your phone is in your hand. Notice its weight, the cool surface against your fingers, the way your thumb moves across the screen. As you feel that simple contact, hear me say to you with calm certainty that you are not invisible to me. You are not the failed child in my heart. You are my beloved one, seated at a table where my eyes do not compare you, and sitting now in a room where I stay beside you. Stay with me here, in this quiet after the meal. Feel the support beneath your body, the sounds of your home settling, the air moving softly in and out of your lungs. Let this be the place where the word failure begins to loosen its grip. Not because your siblings become smaller, but because my love for you becomes clearer. I am with you in this very moment, and I will keep walking with you through the long history of these comparisons, one breath at a time. When you look back over the years, you see a long line of evenings that feel just like tonight. Different clothes, different dishes, different topics, yet the same tightness in your chest as the talk at the table turns into quiet judgment over your life. The sound of television from the next room, the clatter of chopsticks, the smell of familiar food. All of it has become woven together with the word failure in your mind. You have come to expect that at some point the conversation will land on you and that it will not be gentle. I know how early you started bracing yourself for that moment, long before anyone actually turned their head toward you. There is a part of you that has tried to accept this role. You think, I am the one who did not make it, so I should not demand too much kindness. You tell yourself that because you earn less, you should take fewer bites, speak fewer words, ask for less help. You shrink your presence at the table, in the house, in conversations, so that your pain will not take up space. Here, in this room, with your back resting against the wall, I see how small you have tried to make yourself so that others will not call you a burden. You feel anger sometimes, and you do not know where to put it. Anger that they praise your siblings so loudly and speak of you so sharply. Anger that your effort is invisible, that your journey has been ignored, that your heart is treated as if it were thin and unimportant. You have swallowed that anger at the table, pushing it down with rice and tea, and then carried it here into this quiet room where no one can see the tears that finally fall. I am not afraid of your anger, beloved one. I sit with you in it because it has grown from wounds, not from cruelty in your heart. Sometimes you turn the anger toward yourself. You call yourself lazy, weak, stupid, even when those words are harsher than anything anyone else has said. In the glow of your phone screen, you scroll through other lives and you say, I deserve this. I deserve to be the least. Your shoulders sag, your head lowers. Your body curves toward the floor as if you are apologizing simply for existing in this family. I hear those self-accusations, each one, and I tell you with quiet strength that I did not plant those words in you. You have tried, in your own way, to fix this. You have taken extra shifts, tried side jobs, looked at courses, thought about changing paths. You have made promises to yourself in the middle of the night, sitting exactly where you sit now, that you will transform everything and finally make them proud. Then the next day, the weight of reality, of tiredness, of limited options presses down again, and the promises feel foolish. The room grows heavy, the fan or the small window seems to move the air too slowly, and you lie back on the bed wondering if any of it matters. I see those attempts, those plans, those small steps. I do not mock them, and I do not call you foolish when they falter. There are moments when you look at your parents' faces and you cannot separate love from disappointment. You ask yourself, do they love me at all, or only the version of me that never appeared? At family gatherings, when relatives are present, you feel yourself stiffen when your parents begin to talk about their children. You wait to hear whether your name will be included softly or avoided entirely. Your heart aches in a way that reaches into your stomach, twisting it while you sit there with a practiced smile. I see how you search their eyes for even a small sign of delight in you, and I know how often you turn away with your heart unanswered. Because of this, you have also become afraid of me. You fear that I must look at you through the same lens, that I stand behind them with folded arms, watching to see whether you finally measure up. You have heard stories of faith and success woven together in ways that made the blessed ones look like those who achieved more. So you assume that those who shine at the table are the ones I favor, and you, sitting quietly at the edge, are the one I pass by. Beloved, let me speak plainly. I have not been standing behind them, nodding as they compare you. I have been standing beside you, hearing every word, feeling every flinch in your chest. Look around this room where you sit now. Notice the simple objects that belong to you. The pillow with its familiar shape, the worn blanket, the clothes you keep on the chair by the door. the small items on your shelf or desk. To others, these might look ordinary, unremarkable. To me, they are part of the place where you have cried, where you have prayed without words, where you have tried again and again to gather yourself and continue. This room has heard more of your true heart than the table ever has. I have been here through every quiet night when you stared at the ceiling, wondering if your life has any beauty in my eyes. Hear me answer that question now. Your life is not a failed project in my hands. The path you have walked, though it looks lower and slower than your sibling's path, is not beneath my attention. I see the humility you have learned, the compassion that has grown in you when you meet others who are struggling. I see the way you notice the tired cashier, the elderly neighbor, the child who looks afraid. You recognize their feelings because you know what it is to feel small. These things do not show up in family boasts, but they are precious to me. You think that because your income is lower, your value is lower. In your mind, a less impressive title means a less radiant soul. Without certificates to hang on the wall, you assume there is nothing about you worth honoring. Yet here you are, still choosing to work, still choosing to help at home, still choosing to care about your family even when they do not see how deeply they hurt you. The quiet perseverance in you is not weakness. It is a strength that has been tested again and again. I, who see beneath all surfaces, call that strength by its true name. Feel your body right now. Notice where you tense when you imagine the next family dinner, the next comment, the next comparison. Perhaps your jaw tightens, your stomach clenches, your shoulders rise toward your ears. Gently let your breath deepen by one small measure. Feel the air enter and leave your lungs. As you do, let my presence meet you at those points of tension. I am not asking you to pretend it does not hurt. I am asking you to let me stand with you in the hurt so you do not carry it alone. There are choices you regret, and I know each one. Times when you skipped studying, when you walked away from opportunities, when fear or shame made you hide. I do not deny that these choices had consequences, but I also know the weight that was already on your shoulders, the loneliness that pressed on your heart, the lack of encouragement that might have helped you when you were younger. Where others see only not enough effort, I see a child trying to walk in heavy shoes on uneven ground. I have compassion for your story, and my compassion is not a weak thing. It is strong enough to begin healing what you thought would never change. Stay with me in this awareness. You are sitting in this room with this body, with this history of dinners and comments and comparisons. You have believed for a long time that the verdict is final, that the word failed is now part of your name. Yet here I am, speaking to you directly, calling you beloved, honoring the weight you carry, and refusing to agree with that verdict. Let this be the beginning of a slow turning inside you, a gentle shift from I am the failure in this family toward I am seen, known, and held by one who does not compare me. I am here in the quiet, guiding that turning with patience, and I will not rush you. I will walk with you breath by breath. You have lived for years as if a silent court had already decided your value. The courtroom is not a real place, yet it feels real inside you. Around its table sit the faces of parents, siblings, teachers, relatives, even strangers whose stories you follow on your phone. In that imagined room, everyone seems to agree that you are the one who fell behind. I know how heavy that picture has become, how it colors every memory and every plan. Here, in this small room, with the same walls, the same ceiling, the same familiar sounds from the rest of the house, I begin to speak into that picture. Feel the way the mattress or chair holds your weight. Notice the texture of the pillow, the fabric against your legs, the way the air touches your skin. You are not standing in front of a court right now. You are a tired child in a quiet room, and I am near you. My gaze is not a judge's stare. It is the gaze of the one who formed you and has never turned away. You were told in many ways that success looks one specific way: higher education, a better salary, an admired position. You were not only told this with words, but with looks, with tone, with the order in which people asked questions at the table. So you learned to measure your life by those lines. You lined up your story beside your siblings' stories and concluded that your line was too short. I do not hold those same measuring sticks in my hands. Think of the work your hands do each day. You stand for hours. You serve, clean, carry, and handle tasks that never make it into proud stories told to guests. You come home with tired feet, with skin that still remembers heat, dust, or noise. You have less time and less strength left at the end of the day than people imagine, while others see only the number printed on your payslip. I see every moment of effort, every choice not to give up, every morning when you rose even though your heart was heavy. These are not invisible in my sight. You worry that your lower education means you are less capable, less intelligent, less worthy of being heard. Yet I have watched you understand people's moods before they speak. I have watched you notice when someone in the house is unusually quiet, when a co-worker's smile fades, when a neighbor's light stays on late into the night. You read hearts more quickly than you realize. This sensitivity has grown in the soil of your own pain. I do not despise it. I treasure it. You fear that if you accept any good thing I say about you, you will become proud. So you push compliments away, even quiet ones that rise in your own mind. You tell yourself that honoring your effort would be an excuse for your mistakes. I want you to hear something simple and true. There is a difference between pride and truth. Pride says, I am better than all of them. Truth says, I am loved even when I am not like them. I am not asking you to look down on anyone. I am asking you to stop looking down on yourself. Think of the next family dinner that makes your stomach tighten even now. You can already imagine where you will sit, which side of the table, which dish will be placed in front of you. You can almost hear the jokes or comparisons that might rise again. As you picture that scene, feel where your body begins to brace, in your shoulders, your chest, your jaw. In that place of bracing, I want you to know this. Even if their words do not change, mine toward you remain steady. I will not join the chorus that calls you less. You may say, but they are my parents. Should their opinion not define me? Honor for parents is important, and I see the loyalty in you. You have stayed, helped, listened, even when you felt misunderstood. But even good parents are not perfect mirrors. Their eyes see through their own fears, regrets, and expectations. They may confuse safety with status, love with success, hope with comparison. I see them too, and I know their wounds and pressures. Yet above their voices stands mine, and my word over you is not failure. Sometimes you imagine what it would be like if everything changed at once. If you suddenly had a different job, a different income, a different story to present at the table. You think that only then could you sit up straight and breathe easily. I understand that longing. At the same time, I am beginning a different kind of change inside you, before circumstances shift. I am teaching your heart a new way to hear my voice, so that you are not chained to every opinion spoken over rice and soup. Look at your hands now. Whether they rest empty in your lap or hold your familiar phone, notice how they feel. These hands have carried more than objects today. They have carried worry, shame, and questions. I hold the story of these hands with tenderness. When I look at them, I remember every time you helped without being asked, every task you did while others rested, every quiet act of care that no one mentioned afterward. You sometimes think, if I were really valuable, they would say it, they would show it. There is truth in longing for words and gestures of love. I do not dismiss that desire, and yet human voices do not always speak what is true, even when the heart underneath loves more than it knows how to express. There are parents who love and yet wound. There are families who care and yet speak clumsily. Their failure to bless you properly does not prove that you are not worthy of blessing. My blessing over you is not blocked by their silence. In your mind, you have often replayed certain sentences from the table. Why are you like this? Look at your brother. Look at your sister. These lines repeat like a song you cannot turn off. Here in this room, I begin to teach your heart a different refrain. Hear me say, look at the strength it took for you to stay. Look at the quiet faithfulness in your small tasks. Look at how your heart still longs to love, even under the weight of shame. This is how I look at you. You may not feel different yet. Your body still remembers years of criticism. Your mind still expects the next comparison. That is why I speak slowly, patiently, returning again and again to the truth. Change, for you, will not be a sudden shout, but a series of gentle sentences that begin to loosen what has bound you. Each time you remember the old words, I will be ready with new ones. For now, stay in this simple moment. Feel the floor under your feet or the bed beneath your body. Listen for the faint sounds around you, distant traffic, voices in another room, the hum of a fan. Right here, nothing is being demanded of you. You are not being compared, examined, or tested. You are being held in my presence. I want your heart to hear this clearly. You are not an accident in this family. Your existence is not a mistake that slipped past my attention. I chose to place you in this house, in this time, with this story. I am not finished with what I will weave from your life. The threads that others call wasted, I am already touching, preparing to work them into a pattern that will one day show a strength and compassion they never expected. You do not have to see that whole pattern tonight. You do not have to feel strong yet. It is enough, for this moment, that you sit here with me, that you let a small part of your heart open to the possibility that my view of you is kinder than the view you have carried. You are not the failed child at my table. You are the beloved one whose story I am still writing, even in this quiet room after another hard meal. I am here, and I will not leave you to carry this name alone. You sit here with many years behind you and many meals still ahead. You already know that words at the table may not change quickly. You cannot rewrite everyone's habits in one night. Yet there is something real I can begin to change in you. I can change the way you stand inside those words. Feel the surface that supports you, the solid weight of your own body resting there. Let your back find its support and your feet their place of contact. As your body settles, let this thought settle with it. I do not sit on the same side as your accusers. I sit beside you. For a long time, you have listened to the family's comments as if they were the final voice. Every praise for your siblings felt like a fresh stamp on your own file. Every remark about your choices felt like a new sentence added to your record. Tonight I tell you gently that their words are not the last word on who you are. They are loud, but they are not ultimate. My voice over you is quieter, but deeper. Think of that table again. Picture the familiar dishes, the plates, the cups in their usual places. You know where the light falls and where the shadows are. You can see your own seat, set near the corner, close to a wall or the kitchen door. When you take that seat next time, I want you to remember that you are not walking into a court. You are walking in as someone I love. You may say, but I still feel small when I sit there. I understand. It is hard to feel different when the room has not changed. That is why I am beginning in the hidden place inside you. Before anyone else can see it, I am giving your heart a new posture. Your shoulders may still bend by habit, but your spirit can begin to stand a little taller with me. Place one hand on your chest for a moment. Feel the rise and fall of your breath under your palm. For years, you have silently agreed with every harsh sentence spoken about you. You made room for those words in this very chest. You let them live here as if they belonged. Now, with your hand resting there, hear me speak into the same space. You are not the failed one in my eyes. You are my beloved one, still in process, still precious. You fear that if you stop calling yourself a failure, you will become careless. You worry that gentleness will make you lazy. But notice this: shame has not given you the strength you hoped for. It has drained you. It has made you tired, anxious, easily discouraged. My kindness toward you is not permission to give up. It is strength to rise without hatred for yourself. When you know you are loved, you can change out of love, not out of panic. There are practical steps you dream of but barely dare to name. You imagine a small course, a different type of work, a quiet plan to save a little more, to learn a new skill, to move one small step closer to a life that fits you. You often silence these dreams because you assume they are too late or too small to matter. I see every one of them. I do not laugh at them. I hold them carefully. I am not asking you tonight to make a grand promise, not another midnight vow that leaves you exhausted when it is broken. Instead, I am asking you to allow one simple belief to take root. Your worth is not waiting at the end of those plans. Your worth is already present, here, on this bed, in this room. From that worth, you may one day take steps. But the steps do not create the worth. They grow from it. You have often wished for a defender at the table. Someone who would speak up for you when comparisons come. Someone who would say, "Stop, that is enough." Sometimes that defender did not appear. You felt alone and unprotected. Know this: I have been that defender in the unseen. My heart has burned with love for you when harsh words fell. Now I am teaching you how to carry my defense inside you. This does not mean fighting every comment or shouting back. It begins much more quietly. The next time someone says, "Look at your brother," and your stomach tightens, I want you to notice your breath and remember a different sentence inside. Let your inner reply be, "My God sees me. My God knows my path. My God does not measure me only by salary or degree." You may not say this aloud. You may whisper it in your heart while you lift your bowl or pass a dish. That hidden sentence is a shield I place in your hands. You might think, but is this not just pretending? No, child. Pretending is when you deny the pain. Faith is when you bring the pain into my presence and let my truth stand beside it. You are not pretending that the comment did not hurt. You are refusing to let it define your entire story. You are allowing my words to weigh more than theirs in the scale of your heart. Notice the small details around you again. The curtain, the door, the light from your phone or from the hallway. This is the place where our quiet training begins. Here, away from the table, I speak to you so that when you return there, you will not return empty. You will carry a memory of this conversation like a steady light in your chest. Think of one moment from the last meal that still stings. Maybe it was a phrase, a look, a short laugh that cut deeper than anyone realized. Hold it before me now, as clearly as you can. Feel again the way your throat tightened, the way your eyes burned, the way you tried to keep your face steady. Now hear me speak directly into that scene. I was there, and I did not agree with the judgment that fell on you. I saw more than they saw. I saw the years behind you, the weight on your shoulders, the efforts they never noticed. My verdict over you in that moment was not less. It was mine. Let this truth begin to loosen your fear of the next gathering. You do not know exactly what will be said. You cannot control every voice. But you can know who will sit with you in the unseen. You can know that when you lower your eyes to the rice in your bowl or to your hands in your lap, my gaze is still gentle, still steady, still calling you beloved. You may feel that all of this is too invisible to matter. You might say, if nothing outside changes, what is the use? Yet many of the deepest shifts I work in my children begin in hidden places, in quiet rooms, on ordinary nights. They begin when a heart dares to believe, even a little, that my voice is truer than old shame. From that inner shift, real courage grows. You will not wake tomorrow with all fear gone. You may still flinch at certain words. You may still leave the table early some nights. I do not despise you for that. I will keep walking with you, step by step. When you feel yourself collapsing inside, remember this room, this breath, this moment when you chose to let me speak. Then, in the middle of noise and comparison, let one small thought rise. He is here with me. That thought is not small to me. It is a doorway I can keep widening. Stay with me in this slow work. You are not running a race against your siblings in my sight. You are walking a path that is yours alone, with me beside you. Your name in this family is not failure. Your name in my heart is beloved, and I do not forget it. From this quiet place, I will continue to strengthen you, until the words spoken over dinner lose their power to crush the child I hold so carefully. Stay with this simple truth a little longer. Your worth is not something you earn at the table. It is something you carry with you when you walk toward it. I am the one who places that worth in you, and I do not take it back when others misunderstand you. Look again around your room. The familiar objects are still here. The bag you use for work, the clothes hanging or folded nearby, the shoes by the door. Each item has walked with you through long days. They tell the story of someone who keeps going. I see that story and I call it precious. There have been evenings when you came home after a hard shift and still helped with chores. You washed dishes with tired hands. You swept the floor while others scrolled on their phones. No one wrote your name on a certificate for that, yet every quiet act of service has left a trace in my heart. Nothing you have done in love is wasted to me. You often think, if I speak up, I will sound like I am making excuses. So you swallow your words. You let the joke or comparison pass over you like a wave. On the outside, you stay silent. On the inside, your chest burns. I know that burning. I have felt every moment when you chose peace over arguing, even when you were not sure if it was real peace or just fear. Hear me clearly. I am not calling you to fight your family. I am not asking you to throw their words back at them. But I am inviting you to let my voice become stronger inside you than the echo of their disappointment. When that happens, your silence will no longer be the silence of a crushed heart. It will be the quiet of someone who knows they are seen by me. Imagine a meal that is still to come. The same table, the same dishes, the same chairs. You sit down and feel the familiar tightness in your shoulders. You hear the first hint of comparison, the way a comment leans toward your siblings, your job, your choices. In that moment, before the sentence finishes, I am already with you. Feel again where your body reacts first. Maybe your jaw becomes stiff. Maybe your hands grip the chopsticks or spoon more tightly. Maybe your eyes lower to the food. Right there, in that first reaction, let a small inner movement happen. Let your heart say, "You see me. You stay with me." You are not pretending the words do not hurt. You are choosing to remember that their judgment is not the only voice in the room. You may still answer simply. You may say only a few words about your day. You may even change the subject to keep the peace. Do not despise these small choices. What matters to me is that, inside, you are no longer agreeing with the sentence that calls you worthless. You are holding my gaze while you move through the conversation. That inner agreement with me is the beginning of freedom. There will also be moments away from the table when old shame tries to return. Perhaps when you lie down at night and stare at the ceiling in the dim light. Perhaps when you scroll through your phone and see the bright successes of others. You will feel the old sentence rising again. I am behind. I failed. In those quiet moments, I want you to practice another small act. Turn your attention to something simple you can touch. The sheet under your hand, the cover of your pillow, the edge of your phone. Let your fingers feel its texture. As you do, whisper in your heart, "You know me. You are not ashamed of me." Let that be your answer to the old sentence. Not a long speech, just a short, steady truth, repeated more times than the words that hurt you. You might wonder if such small inner acts can really change anything. You are used to thinking that only big achievements count. But many of the deepest transformations I work begin in tiny choices repeated quietly. Each time you turn from the old verdict toward my voice, the roots of shame loosen a little more. Each time you let my words stand beside harsh memories, the weight they carry lessens. Think back to a day when you were especially tired. Perhaps you were squeezed in a crowded bus, or walking home on a noisy street, or standing in a hot room at work. You felt alone in a sea of people. In that moment, you told yourself, "This is what I deserve because I did not become more." I was with you then, moved with tenderness by the way you kept moving, even while thinking so little of yourself. I did not agree with the sentence you spoke over your life. If you could see with my eyes for a moment, you would notice details you often ignore. You would see the way you hold back unkind words when you are hurt. You would see the way you share what you have, even when it is not much. You would see the way you notice when someone else is uncomfortable and make small adjustments to ease their burden. These are signs of a heart shaped by love. These are not the marks of a failure. I know there are things you wish you had done differently. Times you avoided responsibility. Times you hid. Times you wasted hours trying to escape your own thoughts. I see those too, and I do not pretend they are good. Yet even here, I do not call you hopeless. I invite you into a new honesty that is not covered in shame. You can say, Yes, I made mistakes, without adding, so I am nothing. I am ready to walk with you as you learn a different way. You have asked me, if you love me, why did you put me in this family with these comparisons? It is a hard question, and I treat it with respect. I did not place you here to torture you. I placed you here knowing that the pain of being overlooked and compared could, in time, become the soil where compassion and wisdom grow in you. I never desired the harsh words, but I am able to redeem their effect. What others meant only as pressure or criticism, I can use to teach you how to see people who feel small. You will understand their hearts in ways others cannot. Already you can feel that in yourself. You notice the quiet child in the corner. You see the co-worker who never speaks about their plans because they fear sounding foolish. You know what it feels like to sit at the edge of conversations. As I heal you, I will also use you, not as a perfect example, but as someone who can sit beside another failed child and say with honesty, I know this place and you are not alone. Do not rush there yet. For now, let this be enough. You and I in this room, your breath in your chest, my presence wrapping around the parts of you that still feel small. You do not have to fix every relationship in your family tonight. You do not have to prove anything at the next meal. The first step is to let me hold your true name inside you. Not disappointment, not waste. Beloved, stay here a moment longer. Feel the way your shoulders can lower just a little. Let your jaw soften. Let your hands rest. Nothing in this room is asking you to be impressive. I am not asking you to perform. I am asking you to let yourself be loved. From this place of being loved, I will slowly teach you how to stand, how to speak, and how to walk through familiar rooms without carrying the old chains. You and I will take those steps together, one quiet choice at a time. As you rest here, let your heart notice how far you have already walked. You began this evening carrying a heavy name. You sat at that table in your memory and felt smaller than every plate. Now you are here in this room, breathing a little easier, allowing the thought that my eyes see you differently. This is not a small shift. It is the beginning of a new way of living inside the same family. Feel the support beneath you again. The mattress or chair holds your weight without demanding anything back. Your body does not have to earn the right to be here. In the same way, you do not have to earn the right to be loved by me. I chose you long before any report card, any paycheck, any comparison. There is a pattern inside you that learned to see love as a prize. When you did well enough, you felt closer to it. When you stumbled, you felt it sliding away. Tonight, I speak as the one whose love does not move like that. I am not sitting with a pen, waiting to increase or decrease my affection according to your performance. My love for you is more like the ground itself, holding every step. Think of the path you take most often from this room to the front door. The floor may be worn in certain spots. You know where each piece of furniture stands. You could walk it even in low light. In the same way, I know every turn of your story, every habit, every fear. I am familiar with the roads you walk inside and outside the house. None of it surprises me. You have been afraid that I am disappointed in you in the same way your parents seem to be. You imagine me seated at some higher table, comparing you to others. In your mind, I point out your missing achievements and say, why are you not like them? Let me be clear. That is not my voice. When I speak to you, I do not erase your siblings. I simply do not use them as the measure of your worth. I see you as a whole person, not as a weaker version of someone else. Bring to your mind one image that often hurts you. Maybe a photo where your siblings look successful, standing in new clothes, in front of a bright place. Maybe a moment when your parents proudly told a story about them while you stayed quiet at the side. Remember how your chest sank, how you wanted to disappear. Now, into that exact picture, I step close. I stand beside the version of you that felt invisible. I place my hand gently on your shoulder in that memory and say, I see you too. I have always seen you. Let your breathing slow as you sit with that. The air in this room is the same air filling your lungs. You are not far from me. I am nearer than any voice that has ever named you a failure. When those old names rise, I answer them. I say, this one belongs to me. There is a name you have called yourself in secret. Perhaps it sounds like useless, or burden, or waste. You have repeated it often enough that it feels almost familiar. Yet every time you speak it inside, something in you winces. That wince is the part of you that still remembers you were made for more than this label. I am speaking to that remembering part now. Hear me name you in another way. I call you my child who keeps going when it is hard. My child who sees what others ignore. My child whose heart is softer than they admit. My child whose story is not finished. These are not empty compliments. They are truths I have watched in the small hours of your life. They are written in the way you live, far from any spotlight. You may protest that you still have many flaws. I agree that there are places where you need to grow. I do not deny your weaknesses. I simply refuse to make them the whole picture. I hold your strengths and your wounds together in my hands. I know where to apply gentle pressure, where to give rest, where to call you forward. Think of your hands for a moment. Look at them if you can in the light of this room. They may carry marks from work, from chores, from years of doing what needed to be done. Your siblings' hands may carry different marks. In the eyes of the world, one set may look more impressive. In my eyes, I see the story of each hand. I see the times your fingers shook with tiredness while you kept working. I see the times you held back harsh words and chose silence instead. I see the times you wiped your own tears quietly and still showed up the next day. I am not blind to the unfairness you have felt. There were moments when praise seemed to flow in only one direction at home. There were days when you wondered whether anyone would ever truly celebrate you. Know this. I have rejoiced over you in hidden ways. On nights like this, when you thought you were alone with your regret, my joy over you has not dimmed. I delight in the courage it takes for you to keep opening your heart to me even after many disappointments. You have learned to shrink so that others will not be uncomfortable, to sit at the edge, to soften your voice, to say that it is fine even when it is not. I see how heavy that shrinking has become. I am not asking you to suddenly become loud or to demand attention. I am teaching you something different, how to be quietly present without despising yourself. This may look like lifting your head just a little higher at the table. It may look like answering a question about your day with one more sentence than usual. It may look like choosing not to insult yourself out loud to make others laugh. These are small changes, but they are not small to me. They are steps out of an old costume that never fit you. They are steps toward living as someone I have called worthy of respect. When you imagine your future, you often see only a longer version of the same pain. More comparisons, more jokes, more silent tears in this same room. I do not lie to you. Some patterns in your family may continue for a while. Yet your future is not just a longer shadow of today. I am writing chapters you cannot yet see. I am placing people along your path who will see you with kinder eyes. I am shaping opportunities that match who you are, not who others wished you would be. You may not recognize these moments when they first arrive. They might look like a small invitation, a simple conversation at work, a chance to learn something new. When they come, remember this night. Remember that you are not the failed child trying to catch up. You are a beloved one walking with me into what I have prepared. Walk toward those small openings with me, not with panic. For now, do not rush ahead in your thoughts. Come back again to this room, to this breath, to the stillness that settles when you stop arguing with yourself. Let my presence be like a soft light on the walls, like a steady hand between your shoulder blades. You are held. You are not on trial here. If you find tears on your face, do not be ashamed of them. They are not proof that you are weak. They are signs that a hard mask is cracking. As the mask breaks, your true face comes forward, the one I have loved from the beginning. I am not disappointed to see you as you are. I am relieved. This is the one I have wanted to comfort all along. Stay with me in this honesty. You do not have to pretend to be satisfied with every part of your life. You do not have to deny the hurt that still lives in your memories. But you also do not have to bow to the old verdict any longer. In this quiet, I speak a different word over you. Cherished, seen, chosen. Let these words settle over you like a blanket. Let them soak slowly into the parts of you that have felt cold. Nothing in this house may have changed yet. The table, the chairs, the hallway will still be there tomorrow. But something in you is changing. You are beginning to believe that you are more than the role assigned to you. You are beginning to see yourself as I have always seen you. And I am not finished. I will keep working gently, day by day, until this truth feels at home in your own heart. Stay here with me as we move toward the close of this night. You began this journey at a crowded table where your heart felt small. You carried the weight of many years of comparison. You sat in your usual place and believed that your worth was less than everyone else's. Now you are here, in this quieter space, letting another story touch you. This shift inside you is real to me. Feel once more the support beneath your body, the fabric, the cushion, the firmness of the surface under you. You are held without condition. Let your shoulders lower as you breathe. Let the muscles around your eyes soften. This is what it feels like when you stop trying to earn your place in the room. This is a small taste of how I hold you every day. Now, gently, I invite you to return in your mind to that family table. See the faces you know so well, the plates, the bowls, the familiar food, the sound of chopsticks, the clink of spoons, the mix of voices. You know where each person sits. You know the stories they usually tell. Tonight, in this memory, you sit there again, but something is different in you. You still hear a comment that leans toward comparison, a question about work, a remark about success or status. It still stings. I do not deny that. Yet in the same moment, you remember that we have spoken here in this room. You remember my hand on your shoulder and the memories that once crushed you. You remember the names I gave you that do not sound like failure. As the conversation continues, notice your body. You feel the first rise of heat in your chest. Your fingers tighten slightly on your chopsticks. Your eyes begin to move toward your plate. Right there, you make a choice. Not a loud choice, not a dramatic statement, a quiet, sacred choice inside. You say in your heart, "You are with me, you see me. My worth is safe in your hands." The room does not fall silent. The plates do not vanish. Your parents and siblings may not notice any change. But from where I sit, the atmosphere around your soul is different. You are no longer standing alone under their verdict. You are seated beside me even as you sit among them. I sit with you at that table. You may answer simply when they speak to you. You may choose not to explain every detail of your life. You may offer one honest sentence about your day without self-hatred. You may smile a small, true smile when someone notices even a little of your effort. These are holy things to me. They are signs that shame is loosening its grip. They are signs that you are learning to breathe as someone beloved, not as someone on trial. There may also be evenings when the pain feels strong again. A comment will hit a tender place. You might leave the table early and return to this room with wet eyes. When that happens, do not say that all this healing was imagined. Do not cancel the work I am doing in you because one night hurts. Instead, let that night bring you back to this honest place. Sit down. Feel the bed or chair under you. Tell me exactly how it felt. I will meet you there again, as faithful as I am tonight. Healing is not a straight line. It is more like learning to walk on ground that once felt unsafe. You may stumble. You may have days that feel like going backwards. Yet each time you turn your face toward me, each time you let my words stand beside the old ones, something in you grows steadier. I am patient with this process. I do not shame you for needing time. Think of your life as a long road, not a single evening. There are bends you cannot see yet. There are people you have not met. There are rooms you have not entered where your story will be understood differently. I am already present in those future places. I am shaping spaces where your gifts, your endurance, your quiet kindness will be seen more clearly. Nothing in your past years is wasted while I am writing with you. Even the years that feel like delay or failure can become part of the wisdom you carry. You know how to notice the one who feels small. You know how to read the silence of someone who has been compared too often. As I heal you, I will, in time, invite you to sit beside such hearts. Not as a perfect example, but as someone who can say, "I have been there, and he did not leave me." When that day comes, you will find that what hurt you has been woven into compassion. For now, the call is simpler. Let me bless the ordinary path you will walk after this message ends. I bless your waking tomorrow when you open your eyes and see the same ceiling. I bless your first steps on the familiar floor. I bless the simple tasks you will do with your hands. I bless the moments when you will feel the old sentences trying to return. And I bless your new courage to answer them with truth. I bless your place at the family table. Even if no one changes their words yet, I place my peace around your chair. I bless your ears, that they may discern the difference between human frustration and your true worth in my eyes. I bless your tongue, that it may refuse to curse yourself, even in small jokes. I bless your eyes, that they may notice the small evidences of my care hidden in your day. Child whom I love, you are not a mistake in this family. You are not the leftover piece that did not fit the plan. You are a person I formed with intention. I have walked with you through each painful meal, each long shift, each lonely night. Nothing about your story is unseen to me. I stay. I do not step back from you when you feel least impressive. If you doubt this later, return to this scene. Picture yourself sitting where you are now, Picture my presence filling this room like a gentle light that does not hurt your eyes. Hear again the simple words I speak over you. You are mine, you are loved, you are not forgotten. Let these lines become the new sentences your heart practices. Let them be repeated more often than the harsh ones you learned. One day, you will look back on this season and see more clearly what I was doing. You will see how your heart grew softer and stronger at the same time. You will see how courage began not in a big performance, but in small, hidden decisions like this night. You will see that I was faithful to you in the very place where you once felt most humiliated. This is how I work, quietly, persistently, with love that does not withdraw. Now, as this time of listening draws to a close, receive my blessing. Feel once more the rhythm of your breath. Feel the weight of your body being carried. You do not have to hold everything up. Let your heart rest against me. I bless your memories. I bless your present. I bless your path ahead. I bless the child in you who still longs to be chosen. In my heart, you are chosen. At my table, there is a place with your name, and no one can take it from you. Carry this truth with you as you step back into your ordinary rooms. When you sit again at your family dinner, remember that you do not sit there alone. I sit with you, and I will keep sitting with you through every season until the day you finally see with your own eyes how deeply you have always been loved.